Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Man Knows Hip Hop Podcast Review Edition. With me, as you know, your boy Slack in the building, and my co-host extraordinaire. What's happening,
E
bro?
Major, I'm good, bro. What you saying, man? How are you, man?
All good, brother. No complaints, man. No complaints.
That's it, man. That's good to hear,
So,
man.
review edition. You see the header. You know we're talking about Pusha T album. It's almost dry. Man, what you saying?
Yes, man. Pusha T. What can we say? For me, clinically one of the best rappers in the game, man. Do you know what I'm saying? I watched the episode. I don't even know what it was actually. It was in an interview somewhere a few years ago now, and he was saying that he kind of not copied his style, but not style of writing or flow, but style of delivery of
Jay
Biggie.
Z. Oh,
Biggie, yeah, like in a sense of, I know exactly why you say Jay. I see Jay all over him, but he meant in a sense of the just the clarity and how he raps. Do you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I hope I got that right. I'm pretty certain it was. Someone's going to Google it after and say nah, but anyway. So if I did get it wrong, forgive me. But I'm sure it was big. But yeah, and I just think when you hear him rap, man, I love it, man. Like he just raps so clear, so precise, so crisp. It's just it's so nice to hear him rap, man. But I think he's a brilliant rapper from clips. We knew obviously, even though I always thought Malice was
a
the
lot
better
of people
spitter, if
thought
I'm
Malice was
honest.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was excited for this album, man. Let me get straight into it, man. I was excited for this album. Let me pull up my favorites and things like that. So, it's almost dry, yeah. So 12 tracks it had, perfect length for me. If I'm picking the amount of tracks on an album, 12 is like the perfect for me. So I was happy to see that. I think Kanye and Pharrell done the whole thing, didn't
6 each.
they?
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, interesting. So my favorites, Brambleton, Let the
Brambleton was
Smoke.
hard.
It is, bro. It really is, man. Let the Smokers Shine, the Coops, Neck and Wrist. The reason why I said that with a little twinge in my voice there is because when I first said shout out to Portia, Apartment 5B family, shout out One Love. The reason I say shout out Portia is because I remember she was saying that she don't like listening to singles when they drop. She just like listening to the whole project. Um, Sometimes I feel the same way because sometimes I think back in the day I'd love to hear singles. Of course, it was the build up for the album, so I want to hear singles. But I don't know why. But of late, over the last few years, sometimes singles drop or teasers or what have you, and I'm just like, let me just wait for the whole project. Sometimes I like hearing its entirety. But so the reason I say that is because when I heard Neck and Wrist, obviously everyone was making a big deal out of Jay's verse, the commission bar, and some people not liking how he rapped or whatever. I thought it was a hard verse. But
You
I
would.
weren't that.
Jay Z stud.
No, you joker, you joker.
Sorry,
You
man.
know me though, bro. You know me. Like for me, nah, you know me, bro. If it's lame, I'll say like for instance, I do not like the album with Jay Electronica. Do you know what I'm saying? If he does something whack, bro, I swear I'll say I ain't feeling it. I don't think that was his best, but what I'm saying is I liked what he was saying and it weren't terrible. A lot of people was like, oh, his flow's too choppy and he can't flow anymore. He's doing that flow on purpose. It's not I don't particularly like it, but I don't think it's because he can't rap on beat anymore. He's obviously doing that flow on purpose. Like when he said, if Big was alive, y'all would have got the commission. It sounds really chopped up, but it's like imagine it in writing. He said it like if Big was alive, pause, you would have got the commission. You see what I'm saying? That's how I'm seeing it. But anyway, this ain't right in school. But for me, I weren't a big fan of Neck and Wrist when I first heard it. But letting the album run and hearing it, it hit harder. So I did list it as something that I liked. I thought it was a good track. So definitely those. I think they got a good chemistry actually, Jay and Pusha. Diet Coke for me, they doing it. Yeah, Diet Coke for me is still my favorite album. It's my favorite track off the album. It's hard, man. Literally, yeah. Open Air, and I Pray for You with Malice. No Malice, I should say. Sorry, respectfully, no Malice. I think his verse was hard. I just like seeing them together, bro. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah, I
brothers.
know. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've gone their different paths and stuff like that. I love it, man. I just love seeing them come together, and I like that nothing's compromised. Like I don't feel Pusha changes what he's talking about. and nor there's no malice. Do you know what I mean? I just feel there's a nice little kind of almost like they've just agreed to just do what they're doing on the track. But yeah, I think it was after me and you might have been talking off air about that album. I gave it a car test and I was riding around and it was like, yeah, this feels nice, man. So good album. He delivers. After I heard Diet Coke, I was thinking, I hope this album hits. It really did. I'll save my rating until after you drop your thoughts, but it didn't disappoint for me. I think it's one of his best projects out of his solo albums, and I think it will stand the test of time as a good album, man. So yeah, man, I'm happy with it, man. I'm not disappointed at all. I've gone back to it many times. I know it's only been out a week, but I've gone back to it many times, man. So yeah, good album.
Yeah, cool. Pusha T. I like the clips. I thought they were good.
Mm-hmm.
They had some good projects. Really good mixtapes. I think like 2 of the albums I really like. 2 of the casket drops I didn't like at all.
No, I didn't.
That was a very strange album.
Yeah, it gets bigged up a lot, but I won't feeling it.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling that at all. And the album that never came out was okay as well. I can't remember what it was called. Had the blue cover before. What was that album called? The one that had grinding on it.
Oh,
Lord Willing.
Lord Willing, yeah.
So the album that came before Lord Willing, I liked as well. So yeah, I like 3 of their projects, even though one's unofficial.
Yeah.
But Pusha's solo career has been strange to me because we all know he can rap, but sometimes his musical choices haven't really resonated with me. So he had some bangers like Numbers on the Boards and some of those tunes. Like the way he rapped on that beat was crazy, bro. Like that beat was so empty and felt unfinished and messy.
Yeah.
But it was so dope at the same time. It was so hard. Like I listen to that tune all the time still. He's got tunes like Drug Dealers Anonymous and Nostalgia and just hard tunes, bro. Like super hard. But then other tunes on the albums are like, I don't know, the beats and stuff like that. Daytona, I could play like start to finish. I think that was a really good project, even though the whole thing about 7 songs and all that nonsense was going on at the time. So yeah, I'm impressed by him as a rapper. The way that he's able to talk about the same subject matter over such a long period of time and finding different ways to do it, I think is creativity at its best. And listening to him say, you know, I could rap about whatever I want, but at the end of the day, this is what I choose to rap about, and I want to be the best at it. So he's saying like Martin Scorsese makes films, I want to be the Martin Scorsese of hip hop. So he knows his lane. You're not going to see Martin Scorsese doing a flipping comedy rom-com. You know what I mean? Like Martin Scorsese does what Martin Scorsese does. He does gangster flicks. He does those kind of films. So Push is like, I'm going to do this brand of rap, and it is what it is. Because I've seen people like, oh, I wish he rapped about his wife and children more. Like, bro, there's a million artists you could go to for that.
That's
shit.
what I was going to say. You don't go to Pusha for that.
Yeah, go to J. Cole and For Your Eyes Only or that kind of shit. Like, you're not going to hear J. Cole rapping about moving bricks because you're not. So why would you complain about what Pusha raps about? It literally makes no sense to me. It's like, I'm not going to go to the Volvo dealership and be like, where's the Jaguar section?
Right.
Because guess what? They don't fucking sell Jaguars there.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
simple as that.
Exactly.
So I don't know what people are complaining about with the subject matter. I think they're just looking for something to complain about because that doesn't make any sense. I think one complaint that people were trying to levy at the album as well is the beat selection or beat selections, considering it's Kanye and Pharrell. I've got 2 things to say about that one. The first one being, I can't tell you the last time Kanye was fire on production, if I'm being honest. Even his beat on here, that's one of my favorites, was 88 Keys produced.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't tell you the last time I was checking for Kanye. And do you remember the last time we spoke about Kanye on one of these episodes? And I said to you, listen for his drums.
Yeah.
The drums are weak. Same thing on this album. when you listen to Pharrell's drums and then you compare it to Kanye's drums, that's how I could tell who did the beats by not even looking at the credits.
Okay.
So when I listened, I didn't read who had done each beat because I wanted to try and find out for myself, and I got every single one of them right.
Wow.
So yeah, I can kind of see what I think Pusha did, because I remember talking to you like when it first came out, and I was like, "What do you think?" And you was like, "It's cool," and then you hit me up later like, "Yeah, okay, it's growing on me a lot."
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a good sign. That's a good sign, because there's been loads of albums I've listened to. First of all, I'm like, it's cool, it's all right, but then over time you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. You listen to it in a different setting. I listen to it in the car and it slaps. I listen to it in the house and it slapped. So I think he done his job on here, because I think what he did with Daytona, he's like, how can I actually make this better? That was like 7 songs, concise, to the point. Everyone loved it. And you can listen to it. It's done. It's so quickly. Then you got to run it back. That's a sign of a great album, right?
Yeah.
So it was a tough job for him on this one, because it's like, I can't do Daytona again. So for him to get 6 from Pharrell and 6 from Kanye, I think was a really good idea, because that made you really want to listen to what each person has brought to the table.
Yeah.
So you're kind of doing like a verses. It's like 6 of Kanye's, versus 6 of Pharrell's. I think that was a really good idea for him to do that. To pick those 2 producers to do half each, I think was a genius move, to be honest. Well, did they deliver all the way? Nah. I mean, from a 12-track album, there's maybe only 2 or 3 that I would say that I'm not a fan of the songs, which is still a pretty good ratio.
Good ratio,
yeah. But the songs that I think hit the hardest was exactly the same as yours. Open Air, I think, is sick. The thing that I don't like about it is that it ends way too quickly.
Yeah.
It's almost like just as you're like getting into it, then it's done. There's a couple tunes like that. Dark Low's got a couple.
I was
like
going to say the few
it's
like that.
harder than the tune just finishing. That was my one criticism of it. I really didn't like the song with Uzi Vert and Don Toliver, was it? That it just didn't fit the album. I don't understand.
It was out of place.
It felt very out of place. It felt like them two with a Pusha feature rather than the other way around. It just didn't fit the album, didn't fit the tone. I didn't like it. Neck and Wrist, I'm not overly crazy about as well. When I saw everyone going crazy on it on Twitter, and I was like, okay, this might be something. So I left it for maybe a day or 2, because the hype.
Yeah, you got to let the hype die, man.
So I thought, if I listen to it now that everyone's creaming themselves about it and it's trash, then it's. So I thought, let me give it a couple of days till people calm down. And I listened to it, and I was like, I didn't get what I honestly didn't get what the fuss was about with that Jay-Z verse. I really didn't. He mentioned Big in a commission. We all knew that.
Yeah.
It's not like it was a great reveal by a magician at the end of the show. Like, this is how I chopped this bitch in half. Like, we all knew the commission was something. So I don't know why that was big. His flow was a little bit all over the place, it seemed to me. Although, as you said, it's deliberate. I just don't like it, to be honest. Simple as that.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the point.
The beat was all right. A Pharrell beat. That's another thing I'll come back to in a little bit about the whole Pharrell thing. But then you got songs like Call My Bluff, which is dope. Let the Smokers Shine the Coops, Brambleton. And they're like standout songs, like proper good songs. Then you've got a few that's all right. So you've got Dreaming of the Past, which is okay. You've got Just So You Remember, which is okay.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll, that's teetering for me. That's
I liked it.
It's on the cusp. It's cool, but then I don't know, sometimes I'll have to skip it. So overall, good. And I think I might like it more over time. I think it's one of those kind of albums. I think they've curated it in a way where you demand to hear it more. So I think it's going to be one of those. Over time, you're like, okay, because I think the first song it hits so hard, Brambleton, like the beat is hard and everything. And I like the fact that Pusha did different flows on this album as well. Wasn't the same flow all the time, which was good. So coming back to the Pharrell thing, I don't know about Pharrell without Chad, bro. I don't know about Pharrell as not part of the Neptunes. Something seems to be missing, and I can't put my finger on it. And I know if you're watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about, people. Something when it's just produced by Pharrell, I don't know. I think if it was Neptunes, I don't know, might feel a little bit different. Chad brought something. He did.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think I'm the other way around. Like, all respect to Chad, though. Like, I'm definitely one of them guys that I don't appreciate the way he's always left out of everything. Like, now it's become even Neptune produced tracks. People would say like Pharrell produced tracks. You know what I mean? I don't respect that at all. But
I don't know if he wanted it like that though. For him to just be completely just
out the picture, maybe so.
He might just be like, "Look, Pharrell, you do your thing, bro." Yeah, and I'm just
it might even be
guys shopping in flipping Walmart and chilling.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Might even be, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I think the set, you're right. Like you said, people know what you mean. There's clearly a difference. Like, whatever chat. For me, though, I feel like if I had to pick Pharrell or Neptunes, I'd probably go at Pharrell. Reason being is because I feel like the Neptune sound is a bit more. This is like a bit more. Like, I don't want to say futuristic, because I'd describe Timbo as futuristic. Not futuristic, but it's just more of a kind of spaced out sound, Neptune. And I'm not saying it because of the name, but that's the only way I can think to describe it right now. I think Pharrell on his own is slightly more hip hop than Neptune's together. So I know what you mean. There is a clear difference. But for me, Pharrell wouldn't be listed in no top 10 producers of all time for me. But if I had to pick out of the two, I'd probably go with Pharrell. But like you said, though, you do clearly see the difference between the Kanye produced track and the Pharrell produced tracks. And I do prefer the Pharrell produced tracks on this album. And to go back to what you saying at the beginning, where you said that sometimes Pusha, he has good projects, but then you just sometimes musically don't know where. I think that's Kanye's influence at them times. Do you know what I'm saying? Being on good music and working closely with Kanye, because, you know, at one point, like, he was like running good music almost at one point.
He was,
so yeah. I think those sort of moments of real, where it's like he's coming away from Pusha, I think that's Kanye's influence, man. And I think you see a bit of that. He's a polarizing artist, isn't it? I don't want to say you love him or you hate him, because I don't think that's true. You can just be indifferent about Kanye, but what he does is something that is his. So I think when other people try and do that or are influenced too much by him, sometimes it don't always sound right. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes that's what happens with Pusha. Do you know what I mean? And it didn't happen as much on this album, apart from a couple of the tracks. But yeah, it's an interesting point. But yeah, it was a good album, definitely.
Yeah, I think I've seen people say it's trash. I don't think you could call it trash.
No, not at all.
Not when you've got that level of rapping on there, and you know what I mean. I wouldn't call it trash personally. If you don't like it, that's cool, but I wouldn't say it's garbage at all, to be honest. And like I said, I think it's going to be one of them that sounds better, maybe, you know, in the summer. Next year, be like, oh, let me revisit that album. Be like, oh, okay, yeah. You know what I mean? Which is the sign of a good album, as we said.
Yeah,
so it's something that needs to grow, because, like we said, like once you heard it, you was like, yeah, it's cool. Then you listen again, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you keep returning to it, like you said, if you've gone back to it a few times, that's what it's supposed to do. So it did its job, man. So where are you going with it on a scale of 1 to 5?
At this moment in time, I'm going to go over 4. I definitely, I'd go over 4. I think that's definite satisfaction. I know some people are not feeling it, but for me, it hit me better than Daytona did. I think it's better than Daytona. I know a lot of people love Daytona. I do like Daytona. I don't want to say it's overrated, but I prefer.
I don't want to say it's overrated, but it's overrated.
But it's overrated, yeah. When I heard this for the first time compared to when I heard Daytona for the first time, I definitely felt this more immediately. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe it's the Pharrell influence as well and the mix up. But and bro, man, I don't want to be one of these politically correct guys, man, but I still hate that Daytona cover, bro. Like the level of disrespect to have that cover, man. Like,
Yeah, I still don't understand that.
bro, like
I don't
that's
know how the two are linked. That picture and the album title, Daytona, which is a Rolex, which he's talking about is the gift of time or something. What has that got to do with the album? I don't know.
and you know that's Whitney's hotel room, innit?
Yeah,
Yeah, and I don't know, bro. I just feel
and
like
he
I know,
paid like I think Kanye paid a lot of money for that picture.
bro, it's mad.
Yeah, I think it's like
I
2
mean,
million. It was a lot of money basically that he paid for that picture.
yeah, that's
And
a
yeah,
level that's mad. But anyway, that might be a good topic actually. Looking at crazy album covers, but yeah, good album. 4 mics for me. I think in time it will probably go up. But yeah, man, he came and does what he done, man. Like you rightly said, I ain't trying to hear. I don't really want to hear him talk about his wife and kids, to be honest. If I want, when I want certain, and that's what I love about hip hop, bro. Like when I want certain things, I know
you
who
know
to
where
go
to
to.
go. Yeah,
And I'm not going to push it to hear about his wife and kids and walking through the
exactly.
park and all that. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? As much as I'm not going to go to Benny for that. Do you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean? If even Conway, I'd expect more like depth. You know what I mean?
Introspection,
But yeah,
family, that
exactly.
kind of shit. Yeah.
But if I want to hear like this, I'm going to go to Pusha, and he delivered. He gave us what he does well.
What we
you know what I mean?
expect. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, 4 mics for me, man. What you saying?
I'm lingering around the 3.5, which would be fitting because 3.5 is dope, and that's what this album is all about. So
There you go.
that would kind of make sense. I would say it's dope. I would say that again. Repeated listens, I think, might make it better over time. So we'll see where we are. But as it stands now, I'd say yeah, it's dope. Like I can play it, and maybe skip 2 songs or so. So like 10 out of 12 is good. That's a really good,
Definitely
high standard. My expectations weren't on because I don't know what the hell to expect from Kanye. First of all, I've got no idea what he's gonna drop. Pharrell, I can't tell you the last time I was impressed by his beats. Not to say that I don't like his music or anything like that, but the last time I was like, damn, I can't tell you the last time. So I didn't know what to expect beats wise. So to hear it was you know, it's just good to hear what they cooked up. So yeah, it is a good album, a dope album. So that's where I'll leave it. Maybe at this point in the year, it might be a 4 for me. But yeah, dope overall. Good job.
nice. All right, man. Cool.
All right, man. So that's another review in the can. Until next time, I think we've got some big albums coming out over the next few weeks as well. So should be an exciting time for hip hop releases this year. Some dude who put out something about the 75 best albums of 2022, and dude had ranked them or put them in alphabetical order or something. I was like, bro, like there's no way you could be doing that in flipping April. You know what I mean? Man. 75 albums already dropped or whatever. So yeah. So who knows what's to come for the rest of the year, man. But as always, thank you for checking us out and hope you enjoyed the review. More to come. And next week, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So from me, your boy in the building, and my co-host extraordinaire,
E Major. Nothing but love, man. Appreciate you checking in as always, man. Until next time.
Yeah, man. Peace, everyone, and see you next time.
Peace.